create Consul cluster. And you'll notice this is just right in the Azure portal. It feels just sort of like a first-class system directly in Azure. And so this is the first thing you see. So I'm going to start the video here. One of the first things we'll show you is selecting the region. We are supporting right away at launch every single Azure region that they support, every single public Azure region. You would select your resource group that you want to launch this in. You could create a new one, which is what we're going to do here, empty resource group to launch all the Consul resources into. And then after this, you hit next, and you're presented with a bunch of Consul settings. So you could name your cluster, name the logical data center, choose the Consul version you want to deploy, determine your backup and upgrade behavior. Do you want automatic upgrades? Do you want manual upgrades? What interval do you want us to take snapshots in? There's a number of options here that you can choose. So you go ahead and choose them, hit next. We validate the configuration for you, and then once it's valid, you can hit create. That initiates a deployment, which we'll click into here. The deployment takes a few minutes. We fast forward it in the video. But the deployment takes a few minutes. Pretty soon you'll see an HCS instance show up right here. And then very shortly after that, that'll become clickable. When you click into that HCS instance, you land on an HCS on Azure dedicated page, and you'll see in the sidebar a bunch of Consul-specific things. So the first one we look at is the Consul clusters list. This lists all the clusters you have. You could add more. You can see metadata about it, the version, so on. And if you select a cluster, you can do a bunch of manual steps, such as manually forcing a snapshot or manually performing an upgrade. And then in the left-hand side, you'll see a link to the UI as well. So we click that here. And when you click the UI, it loads the Consul UI directly in the Azure portal. This is a lot fancier than it looks, actually, because what we're doing here is when we deploy a Consul cluster, we deploy everything secured by default. TLS is fully set up, ACLs are fully set up, gossip encryption is all there. So when you load this UI, you'll notice that there's sort of no token entry required or anything. Since we integrate deeply with Azure, when you clicked that button, we were actually able to use your Azure identity to prove that you have access to the Consul UI and log you right in. And so you get access directly there. You could also choose optionally to put the UI on an external endpoint if you want to handle access yourself, or you can keep it private and only access it through the Azure portal. And so this shows you sort of the quick example of HCS on Azure. Like I said, we've partnered very deeply with Microsoft. We're excited by that. And to talk more about Microsoft and Consul, I want to invite to the stage Brendan Burns, a distinguished engineer at Microsoft.